Kate Daly Show.
Knows that the boat is leaking. Everybody knows that the captain lied. Everybody got this broken feeling like their father or their dog just died.
I know that feeling. Welcome back, Kate Daly Show. It does feel like that a lot, and you start to see all these corrupt people in your state or in your local community that you know, and you think, how could they be corrupt? How could they do these things? And power and money do a lot of things to people, and I think it does give you the feeling that your dog died. It's that oh, you just can't fathom that people could be that gross, but they are. They're that gross. They'll do it. They'll do it, and it's what we've been talking about, Melissa. It's just such a sick feeling in the pit of people's stomach when they finally realize that they think who are good people will do horrible things to their fellow man through the power of government, and it's a sad state of affairs.
Well, by the way, it's not just government. It's government and media are the
Yes.
two big homes of really corrupt behavior.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about something happening elsewhere in the world, because it's easier to look at what's happening somewhere else and apply it to yourself.
All right.
So if for those that haven't been paying attention, the UK is on fire, almost literally. And the flashpoint came last week when an immigrant, or what was perceived to be an immigrant 17-year-old, got into a dance party class kind of thing with a bunch of little girls, and 3 little girls, the youngest was 6, the oldest was 9, ended up dead.
Ouch.
And it was a flashpoint for all of Britain, because people have been saying quietly, and they've had 5 or 6 separate votes to deal with all of the illegal immigration into the country, the boat people coming into the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And the government has been single-handedly unwilling to deal with the problem. And like here, they're putting them up in hotels and giving them, the dole, and I love it. If you listen to the British news, they call them Indigenous Britons. I'm like, oh, Indigenous? Oh, yeah, that's the people who have always lived in Britain,
right?
Are getting angry. And they're getting angry because no one in the government is listening to them.
Yeah.
So this incident last week was kind of the flashpoint. And now they have huge gangs of thugs on the street, as well as just angry people who have wrapped themselves up in the Union Jack, who've wrapped themselves up in the flag of England. And they say, we've had enough. Send them back. Get them out of our country. Now, they are being met on the streets with gangs of organized Muslims, for want of a better description right now. It's been mostly Muslim gangs right now, but the immigrant population. And they're meeting each other on the streets with machetes and knives and, throwing garbage cans and turning cars over and lighting them on fire, both sides. So what does Keir Starmer, the very newly elected prime minister, do?
Right.
Number one, he was completely silent after these girls were killed, said nothing. He was completely silent after the first riots in Southport. Completely, for days and days have gone by, and he's saying nothing until it began to spread to all kinds of other cities. And now they're calling him two-tier Keir because he's only condemning the Indigenous Britons who are out on the streets. It sounds vaguely familiar. It sounds kind of like an insurrection we might be familiar with, right?
Yeah.
Where we're going to condemn people, and I don't condemn, or I don't praise the violence. The violence is horrible.
Yeah.
However, this is corrupt leadership. It's corrupt government leadership. He didn't come and say anything that's like, we're going to apply the law equally. Everybody needs to stand down. Whoever you are, if you're out on the street, go home.
Yeah.
he has said nothing. In fact, what he did say was, we're going to provide extra security for the mosques at the cost of millions and millions of pounds. And the people of Britain have said, but no one is listening.
Yep.
They're saying, we've had enough. That's what corruption, that's one of the prices of corruption.
Yeah.
And when we thwart our First Amendment, when we censor everybody, you create these situations that become powder kegs and ready to pop off.
And there's so many people. There's a handful of people in every community that control the content of media that the community gets. It's really, really sad. Be right back. Kate Daly Show.
Thanks for listening to the Kate Daly